September 22nd. I'm Mark McIntyre, Chair of the Southampton Village Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation. Joining me up here are Susan Stevenson, Board Member Jane Clare, Kathy Buxton, and our alternate Quinn Profel as our alternate board members. So with that, we have quorum. I have not heard that Nina's not attending, so she may show up any minute. But with that, I'm going to motion to open the September 22nd meeting of the Southampton Village Board of Historic Review and Historic Preservation. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Also with us tonight, we have our counsel, Alice Cooley. Alex Wallach is not with us tonight. Our recording secretary, Jackie Allen, is in the back, and Sage is handling video. So with that, we're off. First thing on the agenda, we have two written decisions, one for 292 Ox Pasture and the other one for 310 First Neck Lane. Do you want to top line 292 Ox Pasture, Alice?
Sure. This is for a certificate of appropriateness for a driveway gate.
Okay. Board members, did you all receive a copy of the decision?
Yes.
Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to motion to accept the written decision to approve the gates at 292 Ox Pasture. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. And the second decision for 310 First Neck Lane?
This is for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish all existing structures and construct a two-story single-family dwelling and gazebo.
Board members, did you receive a copy of the written decision?
Yes.
Any comments or questions? Okay. With that, then I'm going to motion to approve the written decision for 310 First Neck Lane. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. If you would do me a favor and pass those down to Alice. Okay. Next, we have a bunch of adjournment requests. So I'm going to sort of bunch them all together here. So I can move through this.
Full-time job.
I'm going to motion to approve the applicant's request for adjournment for 101 Toilsome Lane to October 27th, 32 Ox Pasture Road to October 27th, and 1860 Meadow Lane to October 27th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have to approve or withdrawal? Or
The
no?
next piece up is, we don't have to approve of withdrawal, do we?
No.
No. Okay, it's
Okay.
just a notice that 140 Potato Field Lane, that application's been withdrawn.
Okay, sorry.
Which takes us now to sign permits and new matters. We had one sign permit tonight, which is the Shabbat of Southampton. If you do me a favor and put it on the table so everyone can take a look at it. Is there anyone
The
here
sign guy's
to
here.
represent it?
I'm sorry,
Great.
I forgot your name.
So do you want that on the table, or?
No.
He's
yes,
gonna do
okay,
it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right?
I'm sorry.
No
Yeah.
problem.
He's ready. Oh, we forget. Which is it? Oh, it changes every year, you know.
See it.
Okay.
Oh,
Want to take us through it?
Yeah, sure. So there's an existing structure that we'd like to put the number on each side, and then also, the names on each side. The letters are actually smaller than this on the bottom, and they're only half that size, and then the top ones are 4 inches, and that's just says 4 inches there.
and they're two different,
2 different sides, yeah.
yeah?
The way you photographed it, you've got both right side pillars.
Yeah.
How's that?
One of the girls just forgot to flip it.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And
Then
they're
you
pin mounted, and
superimpose
that's
it.
the color, it's solid?
Correct.
Okay.
What's that going around?
This is sizes. The white is shows you the size of the letters.
But it,
So it won't be on there.
Yeah, my question is that multiple colors, or is it just one
No,
color?
just one.
Oh, that's just.
Everything will be this color right here.
Okay.
that color?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
on your printout, it was gradiated, so we weren't sure.
Okay.
No.
And it looks pretty big on the right. No? It doesn't look,
Like I say, the 214 will be 4 inches high, which on that structure is really
and,
small.
yeah. And
And
then
the
right
bottom
across
one
the
is-
driveway is the other one?
It's quite wide, the driveway, they have the big double black gates.
Yeah. spent some time back there on some other things.
We wandered around.
We
there.
wandered around back there. But I find
Is this, so this is not to scale? Is that what
No, it
it
is.
is?
it is, so the Shabbat part looks a little big to me.
It's
But I-
3.8 inches.
Really? Okay, forget it.
They're the
Yeah,
structures, the
small.
width of the structures. All right. Any other thoughts? Excuse me. Any other thoughts? Okay. All right. If you have any questions, then I'm going to motion to approve the application for the Shabbat at, what's the address here?
214 and 210.
It's correct, at 214 Hill Street for the wall signs on Shabbat of Southampton. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then we have no demolition evaluations, which takes us to public hearings, historic carryover matters. The first one is East End Holdings at 3840 and 42 Jones Lane.
It's John Bennett and CMX Nemi and CMX daughter here. CMX made some changes based upon the comments. We're here to review them.
So, following our last meeting, this is the third meeting hearing this application. We've made a number of additional changes based on comments made by the board members. I'm going to go through the list of these changes item by item.
Can you do me a favor and pull the microphone close, please, so the public can hear? Thank you.
First, we're going to focus on the Jobs Lane elevation of facade of the building. One of the main changes that we did is that we reduced the height of the center bay, the pedimented bay, by 20 inches. 18 inches, 1 foot 6 inches. The original height was at 35 feet. Now it stands at 33.6. The two side flat roof bays, originally at 27.1 inch, were reduced by another 18 inches to 25.7, totaling 18-inch overall decrease in height. Reduction of the Jobs Lane one-story retail shop height by 6 inches. In those retail shop fronts, the clear-story windows at the top were divided into 3. Now they're divided into 6 to 8 panes, depending on the storefront. Revision of the one-story retail frontage millwork and trim color from the original Benjamin Moore putty gray paint color to Benjamin Moore Snow on the Mountain white paint. It's Benjamin Moore color, white paint, per the request of board members. Wanted a lighter color. Item number 6 is a revision of second-story Jobs Lane and rear office window trim colors from original Benjamin Moore gray putty to Merlot red to match the color of the brick. Lastly, the revision of the brick finish of the facades, both front and back, from the darker Glen Grey Shenandoah red to a lighter Glen Grey rose full range molded brick. These are historic molded bricks. In previous revisions also to be added are the roof material on the one-story retail frontage. Originally was standing seam metal roof. Now we have blue-gray slate. Reduction of the, and also introduced brick vertical pilasters on the second level between the office buildings. And lastly, I think that's that would define all the changes submitted to date. Generally speaking, the brick color is much lighter. All the trim work is white. The one-story section is slate roof. The second story sits again 8 feet back from Jobs Lane. The overall height is reduced by 18 inches both in the front and the back. And a lighter color brick, rose-colored brick versus a darker red brick that was originally submitted. I have submitted also renderings. The height on the eastern side of the building in relationship to the Medonia's, basically we're about 18 inches taller than Medonia's structure, and we're sitting wall to wall between Madonia and our building, 6'6". And the second level is basically sitting 8 feet back. So let's see the perspective so that you'll get a better idea of, go next page, relationship of the building to Madonia's, which sits on the property on Job's Lane.
I might add that my review of 116.11.3E, it's the closest the village has come, in effect, to sort of design guidelines. Let's go through them, which this proposed building meets. The buildings are required to be built on the front property line with a maximum front yard setback of 3 feet. So we have to maintain the 3-foot setback. The building must span 90% of the lot frontage. There's 3 separate lots here, so they all do that, but they do it combined as well. The recesses to accommodate entrances shall be provided at intervals of no more than 45 feet. We conform with that. The maximum building height is 35 feet and 2.5 stories. We're proposing 33 feet 6 inches only in the center structure, with the adjoining roof line 7 feet lower. The maximum setback above the first story is 8 feet. We've done that. So the second story has been set back 8 feet from the front setback. The building depth is 75 feet, which is what is proposed here. And as I'm counting these off, or describing them, if you look at what's there now, which we have a demolition permit for, you'll see that what is there now is wholly out of conformity with the proposed building, which is what we're bringing totally into conformity with these very thoughtful design requirements in 116.11.3E. So we've designed to the code and the design guidelines. The scale is defined by the code in this instance, which we've taken care of. It's a 2-story building. It's going to be 2 stories. It can be 2.5. We're at 2 stories. I think CMAC's been
This was the original brick.
taking into account the surrounding masses, the guidelines, and also listen to, particularly as it relates to colors and changes, the board's comments. And he did give you a very thorough study of the scale of the street, so you can see that there's all 2-story buildings all over the place, both on Main Street and Job's Lane. So we'd like the board to approve it. We think it's a great design.
Okay, board members' comments.
Well, thank you, because I think you did listen, and I think you did listen to us, particularly our comments last time about the white and sort of reflecting the brick buildings across Main Street and Job's Lane. I also think it sort of mirrors the building across the way with the shops, wherever Roberta Roller Rabbit is,
Yeah, we know.
So, I think it looks great, personally,
Thank you.
so.
So could I just ask, what brick are we looking at here?
This is the brick we're
You're suggesting?
suggesting. This was the original submission.
Okay,
So I just put it for comparative.
just wanted to
reasons. So
know.
That's what you have here.
So,
so what?
at the risk of using an overused phrase, it's a little bit more Danish blendy than the original. I would
Yeah.
be fair to say.
I think it actually, it's less, no offense, less impactful, which may be good. And I think it's fine. And you were very good at listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I think the building appears much more friendly and within the neighborhood scale. The white bottom half matches the style of Job's Lane, and the brick appears more friendly and less imposing. So,
Thank you.
And thanks for bringing up the zoning and architectural design guidelines, John.
Good, right?
Yeah.
I gave you some direction.
Yes,
the
thank you.
trustees for once.
Yeah.
Okay. I would find that I'm still the odd man out. I'm still not a fan of the width and the way that goes, but other people, I'm only one vote. I think the massing of the street is too bold. I think it's the squareness of the building, when you look at the roof lines on that side of Jones Lanes, is not what I would call harmonious to that side of the street, but I realize that I'm a lone man out on this, and that's how I feel about it. Do we have any comments from the public? If you could come to the microphone, please.
Can I stand here?
Yeah, the podium, please.
And state your name.
My name is Sarah Latham, and I tend to agree with the chairperson. The prevailing design aspect on Job's Lane is a street orientation of true gable-ended roofs. And I suggest that a new design could be composed of paired gabled roofs with the ends facing Job's Lane. And this would break up the mass of the facade elevation. I also was looking at the design guidelines, and this is page 4 of the design guidelines. New construction should be made harmonious with its immediate historic surroundings. This is not done by outlawing modern architecture design or by dictating one or two preferred historical styles. Instead, construction should reflect the characteristic scale, massing, rhythm, proportions, and building traditions of the environment. Excellence of new design is always preferred to false pretenses of antiquity. I think that if paired gable ends were used to break up the mass of the facade elevation, it would reduce the width of the north elevation, and the resulting design would be greater in length, progressing toward the back of the lot. The result would also offer more space around the new structure and the opportunity for the applicant to provide trees and landscapes, a plus for both his tenants and pedestrians. During the presentation of 9/8/25, the architect offered existing buildings comparable in size. I was struck that the board members referred to many of these structures by what is sold there: shoes, alcohol, Roberto, Roller Rabbit. A pedestrian or shopper focuses on what he sees at eye level. Rarely does he focus on what looms above. Also, design should be taken on a case-by-case basis. The proposed building design includes 3 shop fronts, but I wonder if these spaces are actually going to be spaces for retail because they seem rather small in scale. My other question is, what is the actual entrance to the office spaces? The presentations haven't really addressed this aspect as far as I know. Do tenants enter through the rear elevation or south elevation and climb the stairs from there? If so, does the building turn its back on Job's Lane, offering little foot traffic? A new design should be a product of its time. Even the last design of 60s or 70s project had low-scale stucco and cream-colored half-timbering and gable ends, and these were represented either in vacant frames or in glassed-in frames. The approach mirrored that of high-scale complexes in Palm Beach and other Florida sites of the time. A 1925 building should not be dressed in hand-me-down historical elements. False tie rod ends, retardataire window shapes, horseshoe arched openings are not really appropriate for this day and time. And finally, red brick with white trim is, in my opinion, rather passé. This approach, topped off with coins, reminds me of the unimaginative bank building at the corner of Little Plains and Hampton Road, or the Wopes Food Pantry, a decent adaptive reuse of a banal building. I think Job's Lane deserves better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, good evening. My name is Susan Madonia. I'm representing 36 Job's Lane, next to the new development, which was known by the Courtyard Shopping area, and before that there was a Victorian building. Number one, I'd like you to completely rethink this design in relation to the historic district and what was currently there. According to our own village comprehensive plan of September 2022 and the design guide of the village for 2000. This is completely not listening to our own comprehensive plan or our own village guide. And people have come to me and said, why isn't the village listening? I don't think you know what your residents really want and how upset they are. And no one seems to be listening to their comments. Now, the second thing is that this proposed plan does not reflect, and I say not reflect, the scale, massing, rhythm, and proportion of the present environment in that area. So I'm asking you to please reread your own plan and the guide. The third thing is, I agree with Sarah Latham on the roof. I completely object to the roof line to the alleyway into my building. I'm really asking you to rethink this. And yeah, I just think that there's so many residents that are going to be and are so disappointed because of what's happening. So I'm hoping you rethink it. And as Sarah said, most important thing is the roof line. I don't think it works at all. And I think it's very sad for the community because it's going to set a precedent. I mean, we're the third oldest historic commercial street in the federal and the state maps. And once you let this precedent for this, you no longer have a historic lane. People browse on and they stroll on Job's Lane. It's a community environment. And this streetscape is completely being redesigned. And I think it's unfair to do to the people in the village, although we all want it to be done. It's been left undone for 5 years because it was neglect. So this could have been fixed a long time ago, but I think it's very sad if you continue with this particular plan because I think it's not in keeping with our own plan. Why would you have a village comprehensive plan and a design guide when you don't listen to any of the elements? So I am representing many people. I can have more petitions and more people can come to the meeting, but you have to realize we've been waiting to see what this looks like now for weeks and for months, and we did just get an image. And people have come into the store, and a lot of people are very disappointed. But I just ask you to reconsider, and I thank you very much.
Can you please tell us who you represent?
I have the building next door, 36 Job's Lane.
Oh, you said you represented many people.
Yes, I have submitted petitions, and I have lots of people coming in that are not happy with what's going on after they saw the picture in the paper. Nobody in the village even knew what it was like. So we now just have an image, and people are concerned because it does change the whole streetscape. Do you see that? Everything's changed. It's a completely different.
I'm the attorney for the
Okay.
board, and I'm trying to make sure that the record is clear. So
Yeah.
you're saying if you represent
I
people,
represent people have
we
come
need to
into.
make sure that you have
I
authorization
submitted
to
petitions,
represent them.
and I will submit some more petitions. This is not the perfect plan
For the record,
village.
there's a petition in the file and has, I
Yeah.
believe, 54
There are many
signatures on
people
it.
that have written letters, and I don't think anybody's listening. But thank you for that.
Okay.
Okay, take care.
Thank you. Anyone online? Oh, right.
Hi, my name is Richard Kearns, and I'm a resident of the village. And I remember the street since the 70s.
His
And,
address, please.
oh, yeah, what do you
No,
want, my name?
Can you just give your address, please?
Standing.
Oh, yeah, 130 Burnett Street.
Thank you.
My background is in historic preservation and in architecture.
Sir, could you just pull the mic a little closer? Thank you.
I went to Pratt Institute and to the University of Virginia. I have a master's in urban design and city planning. It's one of the few schools in the country that actually covers urban design within the planning program. And this plan could be easily altered to be much more attractive and much more compatible with the surrounding area. If you just look around the village, there are buildings that are the present plan with the symmetry of the second story and the large arched window and the massing of the windows it gives an emphasis as if it's going to be a school building or a public building of some sort, and it definitely emphasizes the horizontal quality of this building, of being 3 lots. It really emphasizes that, and it could be easily altered, the facade. Here's a building that is back on, I don't know, it's on West Street or part of West Street, and it's the department store is on Main Street, and they used to have a beautiful barn back here that was really should have been made a landmark, but they tore it down and they put this building up, which I never really thought much about. I thought it was kind of ugly, but if you see this, they have, by breaking up the mass of the second story into 3 gables, it gives it a vertical, much more vertical appearance, and that's one of the things that's interesting about Job's Lane, because next door, I always did sort of admire this little previous the building that's still there, because it has a romantic quality. It's subtle, and it gives you interesting things to look at when you go into the courtyard. But I think the pediment, the breaking up of these larger lots, because this building, which has a gallery, a salon, a haircutting salon, and this has other buildings, but this is all being, there's a big...
If you can give us about 1 more minute, that would be great.
Okay, there's a big residence behind all that, but they created these pediments coming out, and I think that it conforms more to the way the street looks of smaller buildings, and it's the same thing with Hildreth. These are the large. It has these breaking up of large forms, and the building can be. And the other thing is that I think this building would look much better. It does remind me that this building is on a meeting house, and it's a service, food service, and it's just the most pedestrian kind of brick building. But it would look so much better if it had all red trim, because there's no architecturally significance to any of this, except it's the classic medieval form of a roof. That's pretty much all the buildings in the village are sort of go back to medieval times, and that building would look so even. And of course, that building has all these the coins and all this mishigas. The whole thing, it would all the brick would be so much better. I don't even care what kind of brick, but with mortar that is a close match, and the darker trim would look much better of that building. And if they could just create some more roof massing, similar to this Hildreth building that's over on, I think it's called West Street or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? Do we have anyone online? Okay, just for the record, I'm going to read one letter in because it represents a lot of people. Dear Chairman McIntyre, members of the Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation, we are writing regarding the application of 3842 Jobs Lane. The property is in the historic district of Southampton Village, on one of the oldest and most charming streets in our country. The existing structure is in keeping with the streetscape of our village and contains, prior to being closed off, a spacious courtyard with both open space and plantings. Sorry, this is a little. At the time the project was approved, the original developer was required to retain open space at a scale that was compatible with the existing streetscape. They also provided access to the sizable parking lot behind Jobs Lane. We support redevelopment of this site, but the current plan does not accomplish the redevelopment in an appropriate way. The massing, scale, and materials of the proposed building are incomparable. The Arts Center is cited as inspiration, but that building is positioned approximately 20 feet back from the sidewalk, with nearly 75 feet of open space to the west and a planted space of more than 20 feet to the east. The Merino Foundation is also mentioned, but it is primarily a 1.5-story building with varying roof lines and is softened by beautiful plantings. This project should be more narrow and deeper to gain some more square footage, but also have less of an impact on the street. It could be softened by plantings and a varied front facade, breaking up the massing. Narrowing the building would also allow a larger walkway on the east side, which again could have room for plantings to soften the building's impact and provide better flow. For over 300 years, Jobs Lane has been at the heart of our village. Our small-town character is what draws visitors and maintains our vibrant community. Please ensure that this redevelopment honors our village, our master plan, our historic district. Sincerely, the Executive Board of the Southampton Association. So that's it. All right. So the question comes down to, what would you like to do, John?
I'd like, it sounds to me like you have at least a 3-to-1, or maybe a 3-to-2. Jane hasn't said anything, or I guess she has, but I'd like you to vote it and direct the council to write a decision. I think you already, it's been stated on the record.
I'm going to motion to move to written decision to approve the application for 38, 40, and 42 Jobs Lane based on drawings presented on September 22nd. Is there a second?
Second.
Before you fully vote, I do just want to point out that it should be conditioned on receiving site plan approval.
Oh,
Oh, sure,
Okay.
of course.
right.
Then I'm going to motion to move to written decision to approve the application. Should we be approving it if it doesn't have?
You have, I think this site plan as it affects this site is largely going to be about the rear of the building. So you've done it a few times.
Okay, so you're comfortable with us approving it?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Then a motion to move to written decision to approve the application for 38, 40, and 42 Jobs Lane based on drawings presented and changes presented on September 22nd, conditioned on the receipt of the site plan approval. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Aye.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Thank
I'd
you
just
very
like to say I'm sorry that people are coming out now, months later, because this has
No,
been an
yeah.
issue. I'm just saying, John, I
Okay,
just
but
want to
now
say
our-
that.
Now our record's closed, Jane.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that moves us on. Okay, so that moves us on to 32 Pasture has been adjourned to October 27th, so that takes us to 7 North Sea Road. For 7 North Sea, is the applicant here? Okay, for 7 North Sea Road, that application is awaiting the receipt of the historic report from Zach Studenroth, which has not been received. So I'm going to ask to adjourn this at the chairman's request until October 27th for the receipt of the historic report. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up is new matters. The first one is the Village of Southampton, 23 Main Street. Do you have,
What?
and are they in order?
Oh, yes,
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 okay.
I have them.
Okay. Now, there's no one here from the village tonight that's able to present, probably because it's the holiday. So the question becomes, we've accepted should we adjourn this to the 27th until they can present it, or should we look at it without a presenter? I'm going to sort of suggest we should just move this to the 27th, I think.
It's entirely up to you. If you think it requires representation, then you should wait for it. But if you have the information you need, you can review it. It would just be good to show it to the public.
Okay. Board members, what's your thought? Do you feel prepared based on what you've written, or is there more information you want from an actual presentation?
I think it's pretty straightforward myself, but
Whatever.
Yeah, I would agree it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
it's to remove the jail cell bars on some windows here. So,
Here's why this has come up. This is a historic building, and we're in a historic district, and this is the village is the applicant.
let's put
So,
the thing
I'm
down
gonna
so it
ask-
can be on the record.
I'm going to do that. Yep, I'm going to ask you to put that on the table for me. And what has happened is, one of the things we're going to finally do for this building is renovate it, so this room will have better air conditioning, and heat for the winter, which benefits all of us. And also, they're going to redo the third floor. But in that process, there are jail cell bars on the second floor, but this is a historic building. So they had started to remove them, but we had to inform the village that the village can't remove historic property from a historic structure that it owns without talking to the Board of Historic Preservation, the Board of Architecture and Historic Preservation. So that's why they're in front of us. And what we're talking about is in the back of the building where the police department used to be in this building, there were jail cells, I believe, on the second floor, and these were the bars that were over the jail cells. And the question is, are we comfortable removing them because they are historic pieces attached to a historic structure? So that's the question before the board. So then my question to the board is, do you feel like you need any more information about the bars before you make a decision, or is there anything else you'd like to know about their history, or how do you feel?
I think it's fine to remove them personally. And, we don't know when they were put on either.
Actually, we do.
When?
Uh,
In the 20th century?
Oh, yeah, like the 1920, when the building was built. So actually, we do. Hang on. There's a report somewhere.
Well, but this is no longer used, right?
No, they're no longer used as jail cells.
I haven't had.
We haven't actually jailed.
I haven't had any experience with
We
this,
haven't
I'm
actually.
happy to say.
We actually haven't jailed anybody in this building apparently in the last
Okay,
little while because
so-
we have a new police department. So
Are they changing the use of those rooms?
yes, all the rooms the use will be changed, and we no longer need bars on them, and we're improving daylight into those rooms for the employees that will now work on that floor.
I think one thing you may have to consider is there may be like a health and safety issue with having jail cell bars on windows
There probably are.
of rooms that are being occupied by people.
I
Well,
think you can't get out
We
of
can't.
them.
To quote my friend
that's
Alice,
the
I
point
can't.
of
To
those
quote,
bars. I think
that's
to
right.
quote my friend Alice, though, I can't predict the future because I haven't actually seen the plan to understand what the floor plan is. My take is because we moved forward the use of the building, and the building has a different need on that floor than it had when those bars were put up when we used to house prisoners in this building, that I am comfortable removing them so they can move forward with the renovation. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Good.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any comments from the public? Anybody been jailed here? Is there any comments from the public? Okay. Then I'm going to motion to move to written decision to approve the removal of the jail cell bars from Village Hall. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So that moves us to 25 Jobs Lane, the Southampton Arts Center. Do you have affidavits, and are they in order?
Yes and no. So
Okay.
the affidavits are in order. We did receive a letter from, well, we don't know who put in a letter, but someone put in a letter objecting to the posting.
Unsigned letters.
Yes,
An anonymous letter.
yes, the letter is anonymous.
The letter was
And
sort of thrown into the building department with no signature on it.
Alex and I did review the posting, and it looks like it does not fully comply with the code. So what we do in these instances where, a good faith effort has been made is that, we can hear the application. It will have to be reposted, but the rest of the notice is in order. So the board can hear from the applicant tonight, they can repost, and then if all is well, we can wrap up at the next meeting.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, the issue at hand is there's a required distance of a notice and posting to the street. This is posted farther back. It's a question of, as it faces Job's Lane, if it was properly visible from the street. And strangely, the street that's back here is a dead-end street that goes, and the street that's attached actually faces this way, not toward the parking lot, so it'll have to be reposted. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the application. So if you want to introduce yourself, let's take a look.
Yes, Sia Maksami. I'm in the capacity of Southampton Arts Center board member presenting this project to the architectural board. Just for the sake of clarity, we were told that we need to post at 3 different locations on this property. We did, and unfortunately, the sign on Job's Lane was on the building and not on the sidewalk, because we use the sidewalk for advertisements for our programs and activities, and hence why it was posted on the building. But we will comply and repost, but the mailings have all gone out. And of course, the 2 other posts on the rear parking and on the corner of the lot, they're still
Actually, it
there.
would have to face this way, because the actual street, look at the street map, it's dead-end street goes behind this building. It
Yes.
doesn't, that's a parking lot,
Yes.
and the street is one street dead end, so actually they would go from the building facing this way. So just double, when you repost it, because you posted over here into the parking lot?
I was specifically told to be putting it on the corner and one on the
But they both face that way.
that way.
So I'm just
yes.
telling you, you're gonna have to
Okay, so
repost
one
anyway. What I'm
face-
telling you is they're
face this
facing the
way?
wrong way.
Okay.
They face, the street is actually faces this way, if you look at the street map.
There we go.
So anyway, okay,
It's confusing.
yes.
So,
Very.
But the truth is, the most important one, the one that was facing Joe's, is
Right,
too
not
far
in the
back,
right
and it's actually
place.
kind of hidden where it is
Okay.
behind the arcade, so, okay.
So having said that, I'll move on to the presentation. What I would like to do tonight is a brief summary history of the site and the grounds. And you have to be patient with me because this history basically plays itself off to this date. And also it's I think important and imperative for the board to get a good understanding of the building and the grounds. The building, as we all know, was given and built by Mr. Samuel Parrish, village residents, and in 1897. The building was built in 3 different phases or stages. The first or original phase of it was the center portion of it, which is the east-west wing. It was built in 1897. And that was the original entrance on the east side, which we still do have it and occasionally use it. In 1903, another addition was made to the building to the north side of it, which is the present-day auditorium. And finally, in 1912, the southern portion addition, which brings the building's entrance onto Job's Lane. The grounds around the museum at the time were also at that time built as a garden and a park, part and parcel of the museum. And basically, a number of trees were brought in all the way from Queens and Brooklyn and planted out here. And basically, to this day, have a good portion of them survive. At 1932, Mr. Parrish passed away and bequeathed the building to Southampton Village with its grounds and park. Since the 1950s, there hasn't been much improvement made to the grounds. They're pretty much survived as is. And the only regular maintenance is, of course, the weekly rounds of the village, cutting the grass, and end of season, some trimming and cleaning up the sites, but nothing beyond that. And of course, the site shows it. The controversy regarding the grounds on the site was back in 2000 when Parrish was considering expansion of its building. They had proposed structure on the grounds of the park on the west side of the building facing Job's Lane. There was quite a opposition to that because that would have blocked or eliminated the grounds and the park next to the building. Committees were established. I myself was one of the lead on that committee with then chair of the architectural board, Kathy Bellows, who was one of the others, and at least 9 other members from landscape architects and architects and that. And we developed basically through bringing in a professional consultant, Boston landscape firm, Landscapes, the name of the firm, a series of guidelines as to how, first of all, to understand the history of the grounds and how to develop and improve on those grounds. These guidelines, which I have it in front of me right now, and Village also has it in its files, is basically our Bible as far as how to treat the grounds, how to improve various different sections of it. And to that extent, we've been working in specific following these guidelines towards whatever improvements we've done onto the grounds to this date. I have to say that when the Southampton Art Center was created in 2012, we decided at that point as a board to put our focus on the programming and not on restoration, renovation of the building or the grounds, because we were a newly established arts institute and organization with not much of a history and experience in that, and we thought that we have to prove ourselves first and foremost as an arts institute before we start spending money on facilities. And programming was our focus, and to that extent we've had about 13 years run with our programming, and I can tell you that basically we're great success. We bring in close to 50,000 visitors annually with multiple programs throughout the year. We're very proud of that. And we've gotten to a point right now that we started to look at improving the building first and then the grounds. The building, just recently, we changed the roof to new slate roofs that were installed. Exterior of the building, minor improvements, and some improvements on the interior of the building. The grounds have had not much of an improvement besides some incremental things, which primarily I was the leader in promoting and implementing those. One of them, for instance, was right from the get-go, in order to provide more accessibility to the grounds, was to introduce the staircase that uses the same historic brick on Job's Lane and opening up the grounds from Job's Lane to the grounds of the park. Among others were improvement of the pedestrian infrastructure and walkways on the grounds. That was the east-west brick walkway. The redevelopment, restoration, I wouldn't call it restoration, rehabilitation of the original fountain on the east side, which we rebuilt that about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Besides that, as far as the list of improvements, again, I can expansion of the ground parks.
Can I actually ask you to move forward and talk to us about the plan of what you'd like to do?
So,
because this is all great, but let's
I just think that this history is pertinent to where we're coming in order to tell you where we're going.
Okay.
And we've had offers, generous donors and benefactors that would provide us funds to comprehensively look at the grounds. We've engaged a landscape firm of LaGuardia Design Group, led by Chris LaGuardia, an East End landscape architect who's lived here for 40 years, and he's been running his office for 25 years. He's had extensive experience in public parks out here, the East Quogue Village Green, the Herrick Park, the Queen Anne Square, the forthcoming Mill Creek Park, the Meadow Conservancy. These are all part of the public works that he's been working on here. I'm going to introduce Chris to this point to come and present the plans and walk you through the various improvements. And one caveat is that also there are certain elements in this plan that are hard structures, such as the bringing back the fountain on the west side of the grounds. We do envision in the future a bandstand, which Chris is going to talk about. These are all items that we're going to be coming back to the ARB with separate applications for each one of these things. Also included, for instance, the posts on the new entries and so forth. So all these hard structures will have applications to the ARB for review of those specifics. At this point, we want a general, basically overall concept plan approval from the board. Thank you. Chris?
Do you know if does there exist a previous historic report on the site with catalog of all the elements that are
Yes.
there, all the exterior
Yes.
elements are there?
Chris is going to walk you through, but I would make copies of this. This is the report that was prepared by Landscapes, a Boston firm, back in 2002 actually, sorry,
Okay.
when Parrish wanted to build undergrounds. And these basically walk you through extensively through the history and also recommendations on how to deal with these things. And one of the key elements in this
Do we have that?
I will
No.
make sure that you'll get copies of it.
Yeah, if you could get it to us electronically, that'd be
but-
great.
Sure.
Any
I don't
way-
know if I can, well, I
any-
can,
any
I
way you
guess they
can would be
can,
great.
scan it and send it
Put
to you
them in mass.
electronically.
Because there's a bunch of information in there.
One
Okay.
point key in this is that identification of all the historic trees, and there are basically two categories of primary and secondary trees. They're all identified and marked out, and we will basically addressing those in our new proposal.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Is that a brick? No.
You gonna mirror that up on the screen?
Sure.
I'm gonna talk from up here.
That's
It's
fine.
easier for me to
Fine.
stand. Thank you, CMAC, for the introduction. Good evening, members of the board. I'm Christopher LaGuardia, landscape architect, Watermill, New York, and I'm here with my associates Thaxton Crandall and Elliot LaGuardia. Thaxton is going to mirror it up onto the screen
Okay.
shortly. As CMAC has mentioned, there have been exhaustive studies of these grounds over many years. Additionally, as part of our process, we've engaged the Southampton Arts Center Board of Trustees. We've engaged the Southampton Village Trustees. There was a meeting last week that we presented to the trustees, and we have incorporated some of their comments and feedback into the plan today. As CMAC mentioned, 40 years ago, I moved to Southampton. I worked for a landscape architect named Dean Peterson, and we were next door above Silver's. The jail was occupied then, and I could see the grounds, every day. I walked the grounds. And now, we started studying this about 6 months ago, and he's right. Nothing has really changed. It's almost exactly the same, and this is not a good thing. Because, gardens are either growing or they're dying. And today we have a great opportunity to reinvigorate this space in many ways, from a social standpoint, a functional standpoint, and an environmental standpoint. So I was given the prompt from Southampton Arts Center to develop a master plan and to revitalize it. And what I'd like to do is first show our map of existing conditions. Can you switch to that? So here, this is what's there now. We very carefully mapped everything, every tree, every pathway, all the edges. What you can see, it's mostly just mowed lawn and large trees. That's it. The next plan shows the historic study of the trees. They considered the blue trees very highly significant, and the yellow trees as a secondary significance. The other trees are sort of like things that came on over time. One tree will need to be removed. It's very diseased. It's a Japanese maple. It has verticillium wilt. It's dying. It needs to go, and it's just a lack of maintenance, really, that's led to that. There's a number of historic photos we used. You want to flash to those? We look through these photos, and these historic photos, and we look for things. Okay, we look to see what was there. And the building is quite foreboding. There's no windows on it. So when you're in the park, the building is not a great feature. And in some of the photos, you can see there was attempts to plant these very tall fastigiate hornbeams and oaks against the building facades. You see it right there. So we do intend to reinstate some of that just to sort of make the building feel a little more friendly. As right now, it feels like a fortress. That's just the nature of auditoriums and galleries. Back to the existing plan. There are 4 entry points on Job's Lane. There's a small service gate on the left, the recent set of steps that CMAC designed, the main entry to the museum, and then a small garden entry next to the Marino Foundation, which I think might even be on his property. There's another entry point on the east side, which is the original entrance to the museum. It heads towards the alleyway. And then to the north, there's an entry point, a long brick walkway that CMAC installed a few years back. And then there's the main back of house entry with the asphalt. You see that brings some employee parking, and then there's a truck loading and offloading. You guys gonna have a conversation back there? Do you want to listen to the presentation? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So those are the main egress points into the park. And one of the things we noticed when we were analyzing this park, there's not a lot of people in there. It's literally void of people during the day, and it's always been that way because there's no place to sit, number one. There are very few pathways. And so, I designed the East Quogue Village Green. It's a very successful park. It's always filled with people all times of day. And that's because we installed a system of pathways. System of pathways that bring people in, circulate them through the park, maybe just to walk, but also places to sit, enjoy just time with friends or kids. So this is what we're looking to do here, is to reinvigorate social aspect to this park. We're also looking to improve its environmental quality by adding new plantings and such. So we can go to the proposed plan. Slide to the proposed drawing. There you go. So you can see we've added a lot of plants to this property. Nothing's been planted there in over 60 years, other than a couple little things. And so, like I said, parks are either growing or they're dying. So this is our opportunity to really add to that in a number of ways. And you can see the system of pathways that we're proposing. First one is off of Job's Lane. You see the large circle? Okay, that's a circular pathway. It encloses a space where they can put their tent, their annual events for SAC. It also draws people in to walk that circle because there's benches all along it. And that circle also defines, to the left of it, new plantings, which will be a number of different perennials and pollinators and flowers, things that smell nice, a real garden, if you will. And that alone will draw people in. And from that circle, other pathways project off of that. On the north parking lot side, we're proposing to rearrange the truck loading and employee parking. It is going to be a brick driveway, much in keeping with the character of the property. And it is a straight shot. It actually aligns with CMAX stairs from a few years back to create what's very similar to the other pathway that he did. It creates a straight shot right through the park, all the way to Job's Lane, a visual link. So now we have these two really long visual links through the park from the north parking lot to Job's Lane, which is important. It's how you draw people in. There's a third entry point we're proposing too on the left. Again, it is a very similar assertion to the site to draw people in. It doesn't go fully to Job's Lane because of the shape of the property, but there's a focal point there and a nice little seating area that then ties into the bigger circle. We're also proposing, you can see at the north, a serpentine path that winds through the sculpture garden that's there. This is an ADA accessible path, so other people can enjoy the sculpture garden as well. It's a beautiful sculpture garden. So that winds through the path and connects to the other more assertive pathways. For the plantings, we're proposing a hedge along the north parking lot, 4-foot-high osmanthus hedge. And that hedge will wrap from one side all the way around to the east parking lot. There is an existing osmanthus hedge there by the Marino Foundation. And what that will do is contain people in the park, particularly kids. There is a tent that is set up out there. They have a kids camp there, and the kids, they just run out into the parking lot. So just this hedge alone will help contain it. Also screen the fronts of the cars, which and calm that whole view down. So that's one thing. We're also proposing some other evergreens to help screen wind from the stage area. And then, of course, many perennials and ground covers to help increase the biodiversity of the park. Our goal really is to plant about 75% native plants. This generally attracts the types of butterflies and insects that songbirds like. When you're in the park, it's very quiet. There's nothing in there. So by doing all this type of thing, we increase biodiversity to the park. We also are doing some underground improvements. The soil profile there has been compacted over many years. The trees are suffering from that. So we're going to reinstate all the soils in the park. It's a big job. It's the things you don't see, but we'll improve the drainage. We're going to add conduits for power and water, a new irrigation system. So, this is our proposal. And in summary, I'd like the village to vote on this so that we can move forward quickly.
We cannot vote tonight on
All right, but just to think about this, and the reason why is we want to start right away and have it ready for next Memorial Day.
of course.
So that is our goal here. So, any questions?
Let's find out. Board members.
What is the reason for removing the old existing pond?
Oh, sorry, I skipped over that a little bit. The existing fountain that's there is filled in with soil because
Yeah.
it leaked many years ago, and then a new fountain was brought in. That fountain was abandoned, and now there is a stage over the top of it. So we are actually proposing a new fountain in that area. You see on the plan the circle?
Yeah, I saw it.
So the circle is really just a replication of the historic fountain on the other side of the property. And, you know, it's just the existing foundation, it's all dilapidated, it's useless, it have to be all removed. But the size of it really prevents a lot of flow through the park. So the circle is a little more efficient, so allow the lawn to just roll down through there and out. Whereas the original shape, I don't even know if it's original, this really creates quite a block of flow through the park. So that was the reason for using the old circular historic fountain that CMAC had restored.
Okay. Well, I like the idea of flow and benches for sure.
What else is CMAC? You've read the report. What's covered in that report about the original fountain? 'Cause that was my
So,
question too.
The fountain, or what they say basically, is that to bring back the fountain, basically the concept of the fountain. That fountain was placed when the property purchased by Mr. Parrish was a much smaller property. He first, as I said, built in 1907, this first section, the east-west wing. And this fountain specifically was on that axis on the other side. And it was a narrow lot at the time. Later on, he purchased a larger property, which is today, and brought it back to Job's Lane and so forth. So the original pond was designed for a much narrower lot at the time. We are bringing back the pond, the fountain, on that same axis. And one of the projects that we will be coming back to in the future, this building, as Chris mentioned, it has no opening from within the building to the outside on the grounds of the Arboretum. There are two small doors opening up to the big circle over there. One of them on the east side and the other on the west side. The one on the east side that opens up to the Caesars Court, that's actually closed up. That is not operational. The only opening from the building to the grounds is the small door on the west side. So what we would like to hope in the future is that the main east-west portion of the building on the west side, there was an addition made to that back in the 1950s, which is basically a stucco modern blockish building covering that original building. And it's recommended for that piece to be brought down completely and the old facade of the building basically be re-expressed. And this fountain would be on that axis and basically complement the future facade that's going to be built over there. But at this moment, we're concentrating on the grounds and not the building yet.
When you're looking to Caesar's Walk,
Yes.
the sidewalks, the brickwork, none of that's being replaced. Nothing's
No.
being done.
I
It's
actually,
just planting.
post-COVID, since we couldn't use the building itself, I came and introduced that Caesar's Court so that we could have activities on that outdoor space post-COVID. And none of that is going to get touched now. It's going to be all stainless.
Okay. Other questions?
I'd just be curious about some of the plantings. It's great you're going to do 75% native. I would just be concerned about what kind of trees. We don't want to block things because you put a tree in, but 30 years from now, that tree is huge. So we don't want to make it too crowded either down the line for...
Sure, understood completely. So part of this proposal is that we have donors that are willing to fund this project, and I spoke with them. I said, if you're going to do this, you also have to fund the maintenance of the park. Okay? So the maintenance has been endowed as well. So the village will have no burden here at all. And you know, part of the maintenance is maintain the size of trees and pruning, and we've gotten proposals for that work for the existing trees. But you know, we're mostly proposing like understory trees, but you know, they do get big too, to your point. But it is the maintenance of the park that is so critical.
Yeah,
to this
I'd just be
proposal.
curious if the board, since we have time, if you were able to give us a list of some of the trees.
Right. Or off the top of my head, you know, we key off some of the things that are there. We're proposing a few Japanese maples, which are not native, but there's a couple growing on the west side of the facade. We're going to add to that. We're adding some dogwoods, Japanese dogwoods. which flower in the month of June. It's quite nice to add some
Right.
life in there. We have some oaks leading into the property. You see the little alley along the driveway that enters. Okay, those are fastigiate oaks, which grow quite narrow, but they are native. And then we are proposing, just a number of boxwoods and things. Around the perimeter, we are proposing some evergreens to help screen the band shell from the west and northwest wind. Those will be cryptomeria. I mentioned the osmanthus holly hedge around
Yes.
the perimeter. We have, an assortment of things. We haven't gotten to the detail of the plantings yet.
Right, okay.
But we will, and could present a very
Yeah.
detailed plan. But that's
And of
just off the
course,
top
we
of my
have
head.
deer in the village also.
Yeah, we're well aware of that. That's why we're using the osmanthus.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
best plant for that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, wonderful, thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Kathy?
Yeah, no, it's been covered in the question.
So I have to say that the entire time, I've lived in Southampton since the 70s, and every time anyone would say anything about it was an arboretum, I would think, what are they talking about? This is sorry examples of some trees. So I'm on your team, and obviously something has gone awry over the age, the 50 years. I just couldn't understand it. And I honestly, I never went to an arboretum ever again because I was so put off by the one in where I live. It was just like, okay, that's over. I got to just go in the museum. So I hope that this could be great, actually,
it's a great
for this part
opportunity.
of town. It's good.
Yeah, thank you.
As presented, the idea of improving this, and
Yeah.
your work speaks for itself, is tremendous to the village. I think it's wonderful. I am going to float the one caveat that I do want to see anything that's referenced to that fountain in the as the Board of Historic Preservation, to understand what the story of that fountain is and what its history was before we make any final decision on it. And I guess that's contained in the report that you will send us.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I've tripped over the abandoned one in the past, I
Yeah.
believe. Is that
It's a
right?
planting box.
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
planting pot. It's full of dirt, but still.
Many, and then they'd have something out in
Yeah.
the yard, and you'd have to watch it.
Okay.
Well,
Movie
can't wait
screen.
for it to be fixed.
All right. So what we're going to have to do is adjourn, and then
What about
it'll be renoticed. Correct?
Yeah, but we need public comment.
Okay. Are there any comments from the public? Because we'll have to take public comment as well next meeting.
Well, I guess that didn't happen.
Okay. So I think we will.
May I just add one thing?
Sure.
Knowing that we're going to be coming back to you regarding the posting, and of course, being the historic district, written decision has to be written up and so forth. But however, in concept, we seek your approval. But as I said, all the hard structures, such as the fountain, such as in the future the band shell and so forth, we're going to be making specific applications for those so that you would be aware of all the details of it and go through the process of basically separate approval on that. But on the concept of the landscape general overall plan, we seek your approval.
Well, we can't approve anything
Not
tonight.
tonight, but knowing that we have that, because time being of the essence as far as the
I know
season, we have basically
you've got weather
these
and
things
winter
and
coming.
we
I
have
get
to
it.
start our programming for the next year. So this is a really tight schedule. So we appreciate your cooperation on this.
Okay, so what we're going to, the only choice I have is to read the historic report. In the next meeting, it will come up again. And
It's not
any
for a
oth-
month.
any other, it's for in a month. Any other information that you have, and then the board will vote.
Very well.
That's
I appreciate
that's the only choice I have.
Thank you.
Especially since the application is connected to the village as well, and we have a public comment question about the noticing. So that's the choice that we have. Yeah.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm going to motion to adjourn the application for the Southampton Arts Center to October 27th. Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll see you then.
Thank you.
And thank you.
are they allowed to do anything else? No?
You can approve.
For this-
Okay, so that takes us to 328 South Main Street. You have the affidavits in order.
We need to get in there. I would, I guess, go in.
Counselor, do you have the affidavits and are they in order for 328?
Yes.
Oh, maybe that'd be good for right now. Thank you. Since
Sure, thank you.
this thing can't do it. These are the fanciest architects.
Hello, if you'll pull that mic close, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Scott Satil. I'm a partner at Ferguson Shimamian Architects in New York,
Okay.
and here to discuss 328 South Main Street. If I can get it on Zoom. Sorry, thank you for bearing with me there. So this is the property at 328 South Main Street. It's on South Main and between Foster's Crossing and Jen Lane. Aerial maps here. The property is viewed from the street. So this is contextual photographs. And this is the view of the house is viewed from the street. Large plantings blocking most of it. And we are proposing small alterations to the south side, which is the side facing away from the street, or facing one side of the street.
Can I ask you before you go there,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about the house itself?
Sure,
Sorry.
sorry.
What was existing, and do you know of any of the history of the house when it was built, when additions were done, so we understand, because you're in the historic district?
Sure, absolutely. The house, its historic name is Penryn Cottage. It was built in the 1890s. Has had a number of additions to its over the years. The most recent of which were proposed by our firm 6 years ago. We added on some porches and a few other appendages. But the house has had significant alterations over the course of its life, starting much smaller and continually growing, and porches becoming rooms. I don't have the dates of all of the additions to it, but it's been a fairly continuous sort of accretion of more house over time.
Okay.
Okay. So again, the front of the house is viewed here. This is the facade that faces South Main Street, and the side of the house facing south. And the first of the items that we're looking to do is propose a shed dormer that would be in this area of roof, to the south and the west, east, excuse me. And then 3 windows being proposed to be changed as well. So the house has had, again, a number of alterations to its windows over its time. And in addition to the house in the 1990s is this pool house and garage. And the windows there we're looking to change on the second level to replicate more historic windows that are on the rest of the building.
How did that get like that?
It's in need of a good paint job, yes. That's
And the pool is right up against the house, too?
correct.
Okay.
And so that's the pool side has a room opening out to the pool, and then on the rear, the opposite side, excuse me, facing north.
And the windows you're looking to change, that's the garage and pool house that was constructed in the 90s.
Correct. And then there's one window in the main block of the house on the 3rd floor, tucked behind the chimney.
It's right in the front?
It's actually facing east. It's facing away from the
Okay.
street. These are renderings of the proposed additions. The shed dormer on the south face of the building, the window that's replaced on the third floor of the existing building, and the windows on the garage pool house, changing them to be instead of stepped height on the east side, changing it to be 3 ganged windows, and on the north side to a Palladian window, making reference with pilasters to a large window that's existing that is in the stair hall in the main house.
Okay, so in my little tiny picture, the window that you have next to the chimney, you're just changing because it's clearly not an original window.
Correct. It's been replaced, and we'd like to remake it.
And
as
you
a
just want to remake it to match the fenestration. Of the
Correct.
rest of the house. Okay.
And make it single pane as well. So
Thank you.
recreating the historic condition in that instance. And then the new windows on the 1990 edition, making those also single glazing and more in keeping with the windows of the rest of the building. So making them 12/1s on the east side, and then this new Palladian window in the central gable at the garage face.
I just have a question about the Palladian window there on the garage. There's a second floor of that garage.
Correct.
So I'm just not sure where the Palladian window comes into the rest of the house.
I think we're looking to try to create something centralized there, and that works with the gable to try to maximize the window height.
Okay. Board members, questions?
I don't know what to say, except I'd like to go look at it. We need a historic, what are we doing here? I mean, it's pretty, lots of things have happened since 1889 or whatever.
We can send Zach over to your report and take a look at it. Looks like the part of the historic house they're touching is the original roof. Is the
Correct.
roof line that you're looking to pop that?
Correct. The shed dormer.
That's part of the original roof line.
But that's
Correct.
it, just one shed dormer?
Correct.
That's the shed dormers on the original roof. The rest is on the 1990, and there's a one window taken back, which is not an original window, taking it back to the expression that it was, and the rest of the changes are to the 1990
Correct.
edition.
Which is extensive.
Yeah.
What is there now instead of that Palladian window?
It is
So,
this.
turn back a couple of pages.
It's on somewhere.
It's this window here.
Oh, I see, okay.
On page 100.
Okay, got it.
001. So it's the same idea. It's just
Same idea, right.
It's just a weird triple gang.
I don't have a problem with the 1990 garage getting alterations to it, or the old window by the chimney. But the rest of the house, I would want Zach to look at. That would be my take on it.
Okay.
I think that's there, actually.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. I think Zach
I
may
mean,
have
we
may
just-
have looked at it 6 years ago when we
Oh.
did
I
the
think
larger
probably-
window
Is there a
replacement.
report in that file, do you think?
I don't know if I have a copy of that. I definitely don't have it with me, and I don't
All
remember.
right.
I sort of come at the same place that what you want to do with the 90s garage, have at. But I would like to send Zach over because the age of the house and the location,
Mhm.
that's what we do. Let's
Absolutely.
get a report from Zach and have his opinion on the
Happy
the
to
location, the structure.
happy to have
of the
him
dwelling.
join and come take a peek.
Okay. Any comments from the public? Okay. So we'll get in touch with Zach. He'll get in touch with you guys for when he can go, because he'll probably need to go into the house as well, maybe. So he'll get in touch with somebody.
Mhm.
And that'll all be handled through the building department. Okay, so then I'm just going to motion to, at the applicant's request, adjourn 328 South Main Street to October 27th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Someone else.
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
How many bedrooms are in that?
8.
8?
Thank you for your time.
Yes, a lot less than I thought.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, so that takes us now to 63 Pleasant Lane in non-historic.
Can't handle the paper there.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
What's that?
Good evening. My name is Brian Glasser. I'm the architect representing 63 Pleasant Lane LLC. At our last meeting, overall, I think we got positive feedback about the architecture and the design of the house. The one comment that was mentioned that it felt like we were kind of creating a compound where the colors and textures blended in too much with the original house that I designed at 73 Pleasant. So after going back to speak with my client and the landscape architect, I presented them with several different color options. And to my right here, this is the original color palette for what you see at 73 Pleasant. So it's an Alaskan yellow cedar with, this is a cadet gray color. What we're proposing from Sherman-Williams would be, it's called Misty, which is a gray texture, has gray tones, but it has kind of, from a distance, would almost be an off-white color. One other thing that I recommended to my clients to work with the shading, and if you've been by this site, the Alaskan yellow, as it weathers, it does start to have like a darker tint to it in shadowed areas because of mold growth. One thing we're going to do with this house is put an underlayment, so it gives a little bit more of there's an air barrier, like a rain screen, and what that will allow is for the color should be a little bit of a lighter look. So the siding and our trim, windows, and columns would be a lighter feeling. And the renderings that I'm presenting here, to the left, we have the original presentation, which is matching colors, and to the right, I just did an image from the street view, and you can see the lighter gray off-white color compared to the cadet gray colors. And also I just wanted to present the rear because it's kind of a little bit more open, exposed to the field, and you'll see the lighter tones in the siding and trim, windows, and column colors.
Board members.
Can you zoom in? Is there an image of what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Of those lower ones, where they're together? Thank you.
This is the
It's
current.
still
This is
hard
the
for us to see.
current.
Well, how about over on the right?
This is the new. I didn't present this rendering just because I did the front elevation, but figured I would bring the rear for you guys to look at as well.
Can the camera zoom in? Or?
How about the front part? No, but they're not.
Actually, do me a favor, pass me that board for a second. To be fair.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. I don't know if you guys want to see the
Misty.
So. To me, it's still, in terms of architecture, I think it's dangerously close. Like, it shouldn't look like, it should be separate and distinct, and I'm worried about that.
Maybe it's the double peak. It's like,
Oh,
because
sorry,
of the
well,
board.
it's one thing or another.
Actually, there you go.
Sage, okay, I don't, I'm concerned that it still looks, they have enough similar properties that it doesn't seem separate and distinct. And these are two separate and distinct houses in an area where that's what goes. It's not all the houses had to have shingles and, white trim, which there are places like that, but it's very diverse over there. Is there a way to distinguish the new one from the other more so architecturally?
Yeah.
If I'm going to point out some major items that I think you're picking up on, I'm going to try to.
Well, I think I'm picking up
Yeah.
on them, not the way you want. It's the
Yeah.
problem.
You have to be on the mic.
I would say the double peak is the thing that catches the eye, so if there's any way to change that partie up, maybe?
Well, yeah, so this is the one thing that does make it completely different, and it's something that the board has brought to my attention in past projects. There is a double peak, 1, 2, 2 windows, 1, 2. The difference is, if you notice, scale-wise, because this was something that came up from the owners, they always wanted this house to feel, let's just call it subservient to the main house, is this actually has a full 2-story height wall and the gable. So whereas you see here, this actually is built down into the roof, and this roof is actually several feet lower. So whereas this feels like a 2-story structure with a roof and a double gable, this is actually almost like a 1-story structure, and you're built into the roof. So, oh, jeez. You see what I'm saying? Or you want me to pull it up?
I hear what you're trying to convince us, but the problem is, the good news is your work is fairly signature, and both these houses are clearly your work. But when you look at the 2-peak decision you made across the back, and even the similarity in design decisions, including some of the flat roof detail you have on both houses, they're still so similar. Now, we have a few examples in the village of compounds, but you're also not, this is not a compound because you're holding them as 2 separate properties. So at any time, one of these houses could be sold. Therefore, we're looking at them as individual houses. And village code, one of the things village code does not like is houses that look similar next to each other. And no matter how you even change the trimming color from medium to light gray, it's not a vast difference. It's a difference, but not a vast difference. But I think your architectural signature is so strong on both of these houses. They look like they were built by the same person, which they were, and you've even got the same rhythm going on the back of the 2 houses. And I think that's what you're hearing. The similarities too much. Is that?
Yeah.
I would like, I mean,
I'm not that articulate about it, just when I look at it. When you look at it and then and we went to the street, we went to look at it, it doesn't look like the other, it's good, I'm telling, but
The good news is the house you've already built, yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice.
The house you already looks so good and different for the rest of the neighborhood that the one now that looks like the one next door
Yeah.
is even strikingly similar.
Right, so basically, though, what we're advising is you cannot do, if it's not a compound and it's being held as 2 separate properties, it has to be a totally different looking house.
We're mostly different looking,
Right.
yes.
And like, what are
So you're not going to, so anything you're trying to accomplish is not code then? Is that, let's.
No, I don't know if it's code, but that's kind of
Well,
a
we're saying it's the
rule
village
that
code
you
that
don't
doesn't
build
allow us to have
the
a house
same
that
house
looks next to.
twice.
Is that correct? Linda, let's just be factual
Yeah,
so we
I
have
think-
good,
Counselor?
good direction.
can I speak on, can I respond to this?
Yeah. No, I'm.
The biggest thing,
it's
yeah.
a question.
I
So
think you
if-
should hold your fire, Brian.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the biggest thing is for me.
No, that means wait.
Oh, sorry.
So, there isn't anything about rejecting plans that are overly similar. You're supposed to consider if they are in harmonious relation to other structures and the environment. I don't think you can consider ownership. That's against like zoning law in general. I understand if you're weighing in on that it appears like it's one lot and it shouldn't. There should be more of a visual separation.
So wait, so
That's my
do we have clarity on what Mark said? is it not in the village code to have two neighboring houses be similar?
Yeah, it's not
I mean,
in the
let's
code.
address that very specifically. But no, let Alice, because I want a legal
Yeah.
clarification of what the code is, because that's going to help all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the, in chapter 116, the
Right.
board's role, no, that's not in there.
Okay, so I think it's a perfectly nice house, and I mean, then what are we doing if it's not in the code?
Well,
What
I would
is your
say
objection to it?
from an architect's
Yeah.
point of view that there.
We're judging this house on its own merits then.
Yes, I think the
So let's judge it
conditions-
on its own merits, because it's not the code to
Yeah, we
to judge
established
it next to, because we know it's the same owner or whatever. Well, I don't agree with that.
Can I just finish my thought?
Yes, yeah.
So, as an architect, I think each site is different, and to me, what I feel here is that, for example, would there be a view facing a different direction? The sun conditions are different, the trees are different, so to me, that it looks like these two peaks are identical, facing the same direction with the same, it looks a little cookie cutter, according to the fact that there are variations between the two sites, that's all.
And I think it's disharmonious to have two so similar next to each other, even if they were owned by different people. I would not necessarily think that was okay, and I don't. I think there's ways to handle it without completely changing everything, but I think something's got to give. In my mind, it's kind of an assault on the harmony of the neighborhood, which is that it's disharmonious. That there aren't, unless you're going to build, unless everyone built the same, but that's not what's going on.
I see both sides very clearly, because a lot of the neighborhoods in Southampton, a lot of the houses did look very similar with cedar shake, and they looked like these kind of houses. And I also want to respect the person building the house wants a companion house to go with their house in a way. So I see both sides of the story. I'm in a conundrum of.
I'm not down on what you use, the materials. I'm into the form.
But we're making up out of whole cloth. I mean,
Yeah. Can I say,
Sure.
I could appreciate if you looked at every one of my homes, it's something that internally, what I've set my reputation on is completely brand new designs, every house. If I were to show you this house compared to this, they're not even close. The only thing that you are picking up on is similar roof pitches and architectural elements. But if you were to actually look at the two-dimensional drawings, you'll see here, this actually has 3 gables. It's not even
But
close.
what it presents to the street?
It's not even close. If I showed you, and I could submit the full set of drawings for the original home, it's a completely different house, not even close. If you look at every single project I've ever worked on, they are completely different. Unfortunately, when I presented this original design, you'll look here in the front, once again, this is a gable that goes, and we've mentioned this, and I've heard you mention it to other presenters, where if you bring the roof line for a second story all the way down to the first story, this entire house has that. This main house does not have that. This is the architecture and proportions of this house compared to this one are completely different. Unfortunately, if I present to you with two-dimensional drawings, you would see it does not make sense. It's completely separate.
We're not objecting to that facade, I don't think. I think it's the other one.
Every single elevation on this house is completely different. It's, like I said, this is if you look at the proportions of this gable, this is a 2-story structure. This is basically a 1.5-story structure. If you look on the side elevation of this, you have a wraparound porch. This is a hip roof in the front of the house, which is breaking down the proportion of this element towards the main house. We do have a jerkin head here in the front facing, the main, the corner of Pleasant. The jerkin head on this property is to the west, or to the east, I'm sorry, which is over here on this side. So to say, I don't want to say I'm insulted by that, but I designed this house completely separate from the original design. But yes, there are the exact same proportions. There are similar window profiles. But to select a window that has a similar scale, it's you know, this is you can clearly see here that this gable runs all the way down. This gable runs all the way down. You can see this stops. You have a full 2-story height wall. So they are completely different. If you look at the floor plans on the inside, you have 3 small rooms up here with a common bathroom. This has full 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It's a completely different size house. This is 3 or 4 feet taller than this house. There is, yes, we are using similar materials on chimneys. I was thinking originally when we presented it that the biggest push was to say, Brian, let's change the colors, and that's the direction I want to go. To change the architecture on this house would be complicated, but what am I going to do? A gambrel that the client doesn't want? They bought this house with the intent that they love this style architecture. Just like I have another project coming up. They saw another project I worked on. It's in a completely different area. But for the most part, when I presented this to this client, they wanted to see how these spaces kind of look next to each other, which is how it's going to be. So that's why I provided this street view. Once again, clean, simple gable running. You know, this is basically almost a cape style proportion. If you look at the front of this house, this is a 2-story wall on 1, 2, and then there's another gable on this side. So they're completely different. If the board wants me to provide this set of drawings, or if you want to look in your files, you'll see that they look nothing alike. I could compare them, you know, on top and bottom, but it's completely different. Yes, I see 2 sets of 3 windows and a peaking gable touching each other, but this is not the same. Same thing with, I mean, just going into little details. Did I use similar brackets and flares? Yes, I did. But over here, these are 2 separate. This is all one to read as a bigger mass. These are supposed to be separate masses. That's why this element's smaller than that.
So what would prevent you from, for instance, that's a good example of using different exterior, I don't know what I'm going to call it, ornamentation, accent?
That would be going against my clients.
Well,
I know.
That would solve
the
your problem.
I know. I think the board does have valid points with certain projects that I see. I agree with you most of the time. But to change the architecture.
This is your project.
Yeah, no, I see other projects and I'm like, they got a good point. But for this, to change the architecture, now it's,
Well,
I
I'm
get
not-
what you're saying, but you're changing
how
the
about
architectural style.
I don't know what to say.
For example, let's just say we're going to do a stone chimney. I know the board would never approve a stone chimney on a shingle style house, but that would make it look different. So to add another type of gingerbread detail on this, now it's like, Brian, why did you change that? That doesn't blend with this style architecture. That's my concern.
I mean, I don't
Which
mind
I'm
the
not saying-
styles being, like, if you see a Stanford White House and then a carriage house that goes with it, they're both, you know, shingle with the same
White,
trims, you know,
yeah.
and some, I think for me, it's more the geometry. For me, the only issue that I really have is that one part T with the 2 triangles.
On the back of the house.
Yeah, that's it. For me, I mean,
I'm willing to be convinced, although I
How do you feel about the front? Sorry to cut you off, Susan. The front's okay?
yeah.
think the front's okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's got to be a way to just, it's hard, it's not my job, and I have no idea how to do this, by the way, tell you what to do. But I feel there must be some way to distinguish the new house a bit from the sort of, the style. Not to change it, but just to distinguish it from the one that already exists. Maybe there isn't. Maybe I'll say yes, but I feel like there's got to be a simple way to do it. The details aren't that visible to me. And so I guess I could go down to Somerset and look at what's there already and decide. But I feel like there's just,
I
think
think that's
I'm
almost
design-
worse, though, to have
I
a
would
house that's kind of the same, but not. I think that's almost worse.
I would like to say.
And they own it, and they bought, I mean, I don't know, I think this is crazy.
I think this is a
Overreach.
beautiful house that I'm coming
Yeah, I
up
do
with,
too.
and I think I'm doing the right thing here.
Yeah.
I think by changing the color, like I'm trying to do the right thing. If we did change more brackets and details, I would be concerned that I got to talk to my client too, because I don't. That's not what day one. That's what they said. Brian, we love this house. It's beautiful, and they wanted all these things. So if I was
get
doing
it.
something that was ugly and a major problem, scale, massing,
Well,
all the
you
things
know,
we
you
talk
probably
about, I
get-
agree with
None
you.
of your houses are ugly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think I'm doing the right thing here. And I think between all the landscaping we're doing, changing the colors, unless I'm not seeing where this compound feeling, like I get that, and that's where when we were doing this, between the landscaping, we're adding a large tree in the center, which I know landscaping isn't, set in stone forever type of thing, but I don't know, I think to change the architecture.
Okay, here's where I'm coming down the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think if an average person came down the street and looked at both these houses, they'd probably say, wow, those houses look a lot alike. Is it enough to make me say no? No.
Right, okay.
But I still think that
Yeah.
because your signature is so strong, that somebody say, well, those houses look alike. And I think that's what we're seeing in a neighborhood where there's not, most of the houses are older, and that's where I think you're getting this reaction. It's not enough for me to say no to, but that's why I think you're getting this reaction.
So
I
one
think
thing you
that's
did say
right.
was from the street. From the street, these houses are not even close. Let's look at the.
I hear that's what you say as the detailed architect who looks at it in minutia. When average person went down the road and looked at them, I don't know that that's what they would say. But like I've told you, it's not going to make me say no, but I don't think. I think Nina's right. I think, a matter of fact, the last meeting we did talk about the very big similarity of the double peak rear facing of these houses. We did talk about it. So it's not new information that you didn't hear before.
But
I agree, yes.
But I do think the change in the color helps. That's where I come out on it.
The double gable in the back of the house, you did say from the street, someone walking by.
Right, and they're not going to see that, okay.
And
But you
listen,
also
I
face
am
over
never
big
one to
Faces
accept. I am
a
never
field,
one
doesn't it?
open field. I am never one to say like the back elevation, no one's seeing it. Like I'm all about. You look at every elevation I draw, there's importance to it. So to say like that's not important, like I don't even want to bring it up. But I will say when someone walks by the house from the front, they are not going to see the same double gable. I think it looks beautiful the way it's currently presented. Like I said, I think the scale and massing of it is going to feel quite a bit smaller than this one. It's not going up 2 stories. It's simple. There's not a reverse coming off of the side here. This is like a gable much further back with a lower hip. This is all hip roof in between these 2 structures. Versus this is just so everyone knows, this is a double, once again, on the front elevation here, this is a double height. You have a dormer up here on top of this sweeping gable coming down. So you have 1, 2, 3 gables with a dormer coming off that's a hip, which is what you're seeing right here. 2 stories. This is only 1.5, like a 1.5, just all roofing. So my concern is, and I've had conversations with landscape architects and interior designers on projects and owners reps, they start to want me to intertwine changing things that I think I've spent a lot of time and effort presenting to a client. To make that change, could I do it? You've seen me change stuff to make it work. Could I make it work? Is it the best situation for my client? I don't think so. So that's where I'm like, could I make it a difference? And you guys are like, oh yeah, it looks different. It's great. I can make this a shed roof coming off the back, and you say it looks completely different.
I don't
It's
think
a
it has
problem.
to be that, I think you're supported, but I don't think we're asking you to make, I'm not, a major change. I just feel like to be sensitive to the fact that when you would be, if you lived across the street.
Let's see if any neighbors have anything to say. Are there any comments from the public?
Oh, great silence. All right.
I would
don't
think
know.
neighbors would love this. Like compared to the neighborhood,
Yeah, but
these are amazing houses.
You should probably
That's
quit while you're at
sort
it.
of, yeah, stop.
No, I'm passionate about what's going on here. I don't want to
Your
change
neighbors
something
aren't going to like
yeah.
it, yeah.
If you guys said no,
Jane, why are
I'll
you
go
coming
back
out
and
of
change it.
They're not going to say no.
I'm okay with the gorgeous house. I'm okay with the similarities.
I don't love the similarity, but you know where I am. So with that, I think we should motion to approve the 63 Pleasant Lane based on the color change and drawings and the color change materials change presented on September 22nd. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I'm thinking. I'll say aye.
Okay, Nina?
I'm good.
It's all right.
Okay.
But
is that
don't
a-
do it
is that an
again.
aye?
All right. Okay, so that
Don't
takes
try
us-
that again,
Okay,
Brian.
thank you. Thank you. Go.
Go quick.
Go quick.
Okay, thank
Giddy
you. That
up.
takes us to new matters. 11 Henry LLC. Do you have the affidavits and are they in order?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't feel perfect about that. Seriously.
Yeah.
I just.
Hello?
Hello? When I
Hi, this is Leo Architect. I'm the architect for 11 Henry Street.
And I'm Marianne Horwath. I'm one of the owners with my husband, Michael Shaheen. And I just want to be here along with Lucy to hopefully be more efficient.
Okay.
So, I believe we have the demo approval, right?
We had in August, I believe, a letter of appropriateness.
Appropriateness.
Yes.
there
To
Yes,
to the
So
from
the
the
building-
historian.
So that's
It would have
it?
been issued by the building inspector.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
the historian looked at it.
Not a certificate of appropriateness.
What?
It's not in the historic.
No, no, it's different appropriate, so
Yeah,
it'd be a
it was
demolition.
the
It'd be a demolition
demolition.
permit
Yeah, it was
based
a
on
demo.
agreement that we were not going to landmark the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
So-
We're not in a historic district. Okay.
Thank you.
Here is the site plan. Site plan, we have the driveway come in, parking in the front, and then the house and the pool, which is pretty straightforward. And we're gonna skip the floor plans, go straight to the elevation. And it's a hip-proof, very simple, front and back, simple hip-proof, and this side. And then I'm gonna tell you the material. The materials is gonna be Marvin aluminum clad windows, and they're gunmetal in color. Roof is gonna be cedar on the top, and where there's shallow roof, we're gonna have standing seam metal roof.
Lucy, the mic has to face you.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. Okay. So the siding is
What about the sand? I didn't get the color of this.
okay, let's repeat again.
Okay, thank you.
Windows and doors are aluminum clad Marvin, and they're gonna be gunmetal. So is the frame and the casing. The roof is gonna be cedar on the top, and then where this shallow roof, we're gonna do standing seam metal roofing, and it's gonna be light gray. Siding is gonna be cedar, pre-stained white. And the door, the front door, garage door is gonna be gunmetal gray. Column is gonna be white. And we have bluestone walkway, and porches is gonna be bluestone. And we do have 2 black sconces on either side of the garage door, and that would be the cut sheet.
Board members.
Do you have a sample, the gunmetal color?
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
I do.
We have a couple of samples, actually, we
I
brought.
also took pictures of the houses that has this
Combination.
combination, and
I'd just like to see the color. I'm not that concerned about what other houses have that.
yes, because sometimes
Oh, here we go.
it can be deceiving when you see it on the table. That's why
Yeah, which
That's
one is it?
pictures.
You have 2 there.
Yeah, this is the same.
the same.
Oh.
I can
Samples.
hand it to you. So and also the samples.
I just like to see the
Because
color.
when
I don't really need to see the picture. I just
I'd
like
be
to.
happy to see what it looks, what you're
Because
showing
when
us.
the
I just
sun
think it's-
shines on it,
What's
the
that?
picture.
I don't need that. Do you need that? We've seen it before, but that's what I want to see.
When the sun shines on it, the color will look
Lucy,
different.
you need to talk into the mic, please. Thank you.
Did you actually have the sample?
So, the houses that has this is recently built, right?
Yes.
And this is 127 Toilsome, the first one. The second one is 131 Herrick. And you can see when sun shines it, it's not like, you think it's dark.
And how about when the sun doesn't shine on it?
There's actually a difference, because in the house that's on 127 Toilsome, the trim is painted gunmetal as well as the window muntins, and the trim is actually painted white on the other house, on the Herrick house. So they actually appear very different.
because, you know, you might think it's really black. It's not black. It's metal.
It's
metal.
the difference between that and black. It's not that far. But the example, to me, the example that has the white painted trim with the dark windows looks better than when the trim itself is also painted, because it makes them more architectural. The way the architecturally pop off the house, I don't think is as harmonious in keeping with the house as the example that you're showing me here.
So I also built 99 Edwards for Marianne, and this is actually ebony, which is black, and I can pass it around too.
No, it's okay.
So it's
Yeah.
a
I
lot
think-
darker.
It's
I
a
think-
lot
well,
darker,
okay.
and I think sometimes when you have black windows and it looks really horrible, like dark black eyes, I think it's not done correctly. You know, if you're done correctly, it will be fine.
Well,
So-
lately, we have not been approving dark black windows, standing seam roofs. It would be nice to see a rendering. I don't know. I mean,
We're not asking for the ebony windows. We like the gray colors.
well, whatever.
and-
That looks dark to
Yes,
me.
that-
So
no, we
can
that's-
split
yes,
hairs.
that
It looks
is.
too dark, period.
No,
I mean,
this
everyone
is
has
the
a different
ebony. We should
opinion.
put that one down. Put that one down. That's the
You
ebony.
know,
I live
whatever.
across the street almost from here,
Yeah.
and I walk past it, and it does present as gray.
Gray, yes, that's the one that we like.
I'm not in love with the house, but honestly, it has some style, and it's modest, this house. And none of that presents as black. It presents
Exactly.
as gray.
No, I think it's an overdone trend with the ebony. I don't like it.
We're not doing the trend.
Exactly.
anymore.
I'm sorry, Mark, just to clarify, you were pointing that this house you prefer?
I
Yeah.
prefer that one because that's
Yeah.
the white trim. It's just the dark.
So
one,
were you
'cause I-
planning for white trim?
No.
No.
So then
They're having gray. It's
I-
gonna be
If
this.
if it's clad from the factory, I believe you don't have to trim them.
So it's
But you do
gray
white
color,
trim.
and this is
If
gray.
if you have white shingles, you do white trim.
Right,
Oh, the house
but I
doesn't
agree
have
with
shingles,
Mark
it just
that
has white
this,
trim.
there's a big difference
Mhm.
between
Yeah.
this and
There's a big
this.
architectural difference between
And
two.
this one is preferable.
Yes, there's screens in the windows there. It makes it less noticeable.
I'm just asking
So
which one, yeah, if you could make it closer to this, if that's.
yes,
yeah.
I think that is better. The reason that we like the darker frame windows is when you look out from the inside, you feel nature better. And if you have a white window pane, it blocks it cuts down on the green.
Both of these
and
options have dark gray
blends.
panes. The
Yes.
question is the exterior trim and how they present, and one of them presents far softer than the other. And I think what you're hearing is that was to present. The only other thing that I would like to talk about is the garage door,
Yes.
because there's no articulation across that whole facade, and there's just suddenly a garage door. I would like to see some sort of articulation, whether it's articulating out or back slightly toward the garage door. It just doesn't come across a big flat plane. It would give a sense of separation from the garage and the rest of the house just a little bit, and it bothers me that it's one long flat plane. I don't think that's typical, and I don't find it. Well, we see it in other parts of the village, and every time we see it in part of the village, I think it looks incorrect.
Does it need a little roof over the garage, or a little
Either the
pitch or
garage steps
something?
forward, the garage steps back, even minute, or there's a trim detail that separates out just long facade and instant garage door.
And is this a second floor patio here? I can't tell from.
No, no.
No,
No?
we don't have
That's,
a,
I
we
think
don't
that's
have a
standing
patio.
seam, that's shallow standing.
Oh,
seam
that,
roof.
okay.
Anybody else? in here?
Do you get?
So we want to see a rendering, and if you could sort of figure out a treatment for the garage door that gives it a little more presence or makes it different, that would be great.
We are kind of very constrained by the site. Would the board consider the garage door if I put the bracket with trellis on it?
Like a trellis or
What
a
I'd
little
like you to
roof?
break up is that one long flat plane. So it doesn't have to be a lot, but I'm sure you can figure it out.
I believe what Mark is saying is that we should push the garage back a little bit or bring it out a little bit so that it's
Just
not
some,
on
some
the
Well, we
sort,
have-
just some sort of articulation to
Yes,
that to break
we-
up what your very long flat plane on this house.
It's a nice deep lot. We could actually push the garage in more. Yes, I like that
I
idea.
actually think it would give you a little
Yes.
more articulation and,
Yes.
and a little more sophistication to the front of the house.
Absolutely. So we just push this back and puch that back a little bit.
Do you want to push it back or you want to bring it out?
Well, you guys will take a look at it.
Yeah,
You
you can
guys
do
can
this
decide
on your
until-
own time, though.
Yeah, better back. Okay.
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 All right.
Any other,
Any other comments? I think you're clearly hearing that the white trim with just the dark paned windows is preferable to the dark trim around the windows.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So if you'd like to render that for us, then take a look at the garage door. And my other question was, at your front door, are there any surface-mounted light fixtures on the front door? Is it all overhead lighting?
No, we are
No.
not planning on any surface-mounted light
So the only
fixtures.
surface-mounted is the garage?
It's just on either
Both
side
sides
of the garage.
Okay. And you will need surface fixtures at the back, because there's a door out of the garage, and that back door, by code, I think you need a surface
Yes.
fixture? So if you could just
matching.
tell us-
Here?
Yeah,
Matching.
yeah.
We
Okay.
can add one.
If you could-
Matching, and
if you
they're-
could- If you
they're-
could put that into the drawing for me,
Okay,
that
fine.
would be great.
Mhm.
And are there any comments from the public?
Hello, board members. My name is Peter McWilliams. My wife and I own 9 Henry Street, the next door neighbor. If it appears that I've been loitering, it's because I just wanted to make sure that we don't get another white house with black trim. I'm directly next door, and the house next to them has natural cedar. I work for Wright & Company. I've been with them for quite a while. I've built a lot of houses out here for the last 40 years, and Henry Street is a very special place. It really is. We bought the house from Penny Wright.
Is it?
And,
Good friend to several people up here, yes.
and some other significant people live there as well.
Yeah.
Marianne said, and she and Michael, I believe it's Michael,
Yes.
plan on living there instead of renting, which means a whole lot to me. It would give us a part of a neighborhood back again. But I just wanted to not loiter, get up here and say the best of luck to them, and hopefully it's not going to be white with black trim, and that's about it.
Won't be, only.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think you've sort of heard where we're going.
Right. But I didn't see anything, I couldn't see anything up there or see any of this, so.
Oh, it's,
Can we confirm
Yeah.
that it's going to be this? I mean, how do we see
Different
that?
roof lines, for sure.
no, the
No,
window
the-
treat, just the window treatment with the white trim on it.
Yeah.
the
Well,
white
we've
trim
asked
with
for a
the-
rendering.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
So we'll see a rendering.
Great.
There'll be a rendering
Thanks for
in the
your
file
time.
for next week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
comments.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Peter.
Okay, so you think you'll be ready for the 27th?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm going to motion at the applicant's request to adjourn 11 Henry Street to October 27th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Okay, so that takes us to 127 Pulaski.
Is there anybody here for that? Is
I
there?
think it tells us here.
I have, I didn't. Listen to the. Yep, you said it.
And she's back.
There's more of the demolition department.
Okay. I know it sounds crazy, but I need you to reintroduce yourself for the record. Do you have the affidavits and are they in order?
Yes.
Okay.
Ciolio Architect, architect for 127 Pulaski Street.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Przemek Kopczynski. I'm the owner of the house.
Great. Okay.
Okay, so there's currently a small one-story house on the site. I have pictures of it. And then there's a little pool house in the back. And we are planning on demolish everything and rebuild. And here's the site plan.
Did you put a, I'm sorry, I was looking down. Did you
I'm
put a
sorry.
picture of the existing house?
Yes.
Okay, and
This
turn it
is the
toward yourself,
existing
just
house.
make sure it gets so the public can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then the new house is here. And then we have pool, a little trellis, and the detached garage on the side. And the parking, we have a little bit here and some in the back. And with that, I'm gonna move on to the house. We are not going to go through the plan, we'll just go straight to the elevation. Elevation, here's the front of the elevation. Here is the west side, where's the garage side. This is this side. And then the rear elevation, which is on the bottom, and the east elevation that's with the chimney. And then I'm going to talk about the material. The material's going to be, it's going to be Marvin, and it's going to be cadet gray. Cadet gray.
It's a light gray.
It's in my pocket right here. Cadet gray. And the roof is going to be cedar. And again, we have a little bit metal roofing on the lower level. And the cedar siding is going to be cedar siding, and it's a seagull gray, which is this color. We're going to do solid, right?
Yes.
Solid stain. This is the color. This is the window. Right here, the solid one. And the front door, garage door, are going to be cadet gray. Column is going to be seagull gray. And we have white railings, and chimney is going to be red brick, Danish blend.
So, it's all gray, correct?
Yes.
Two shades of gray.
Two
Yeah.
shades here with the white trim. And what color is the standing seam roof?
Light gray.
So
I have the metal roof. I did bring it with me.
can you
It's a
get
little
it?
big.
It's tight too. Big time.
And this is a patio, I believe, second floor
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
balcony,
that-
yeah,
In
okay.
that situation.
Okay.
seems
Just wanted to make sure that I'm not looking at it wrong.
It's tight, the existing one is tight.
Yeah.
This is tighter. It's shocking to
Okay.
me, actually.
Okay, board members, let's start with the architecture.
The back wall to window ratio seems very high.
Too many in a tight, and that's,
Yeah.
when it's tight. It's,
I agree
the
with that.
entire back is windows.
Windows, yeah.
In a place where you're
And then-
so tight with,
Right.
on every
Right.
side, I believe.
And what are the dimensions of that that patio or whatever, that
Balcony,
chair,
yeah.
that balcony? Because
But-
it's so tight there, I don't know that, you know,
I don't
Right.
think, I would not
No,
agree to
I
that. I
agree.
think that's,
I agree with you, yeah,
it's just,
too tight.
and that's, almost in any situation,
Yeah.
that's pretty big. And the neighbors are, 10 feet away here.
Mhm.
Are we talking about the second floor balcony?
We
Yes.
are.
We are-
Okay, the second floor balcony is, it's hidden.
Just the dimensions.
It's hidden in this alcove. It's 7 foot 11 inches this way, and about 11 feet this way. But you can see this is coming out. This is also has a roof here, and we have screen here too. So it will block all the views.
I don't know if you
No.
would get a lot of support for that.
No.
Even if you talked, the neighbor could hear you out there. There's a reason why there are walls,
Mhm.
as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't approve that.
From an energy standpoint, there's too much glass in the north.
Yeah, much too much.
Can I ask a question? Okay, so on your south elevation, your front door, is that a row of transom windows over the front door?
Yes, there'll
Now
be
I ask the
transom
front
on
door.
the top.
Because that's like, that row of transoms over that door seems very tall and not typical to what we see in Southampton, so I'd have a question about that.
Oh, okay.
When I look at the west elevation, I like the brackets over the side door. Is there surface mounting lighting that's going there?
No,
Okay, so you've got soffit lighting, how are you lighting the door?
it's going to be on the soffit.
Okay. When I look at, hold on. Elevations.
North.
Okay, good. What are these On the east elevation, the stack windows, one that goes down into the basement and then one's above, is that a stairwell?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd be worried about the side projection light to the neighbor,
Yeah.
because there's very tight lots. I think there's a lot of glass going in that stairwell that I don't know is necessary. And you can say all you want, but that balcony, you can walk out and walk all the way across to the corner of the house, and I think you can see into the neighbor's yard. I think if you take it way, way back, that's a small balcony that's enclosed and hidden, just outside that small door, maybe we could look at that, but the way it is right now, I think it's just it has too much, you haven't seen us approving any of those, and you know that from the projects we have in front of us. When I look below, what I see is a bunch of sliding doors. Is there also a line of transom windows above the sliding doors?
I don't think so.
What
Oh,
are,
yeah,
what are
there
the
is.
square panels above the doors?
Yeah, we do have transom.
Okay, I think that's way too much glass. And how tall are those doors?
8 foot.
Okay, so you got an 8-foot door and another 4, so you have 9 feet of glass. So I think first of all, the doors could probably come down about 10%, and the transom needs to go away. And then you've got in the section on the right-hand side actually looks pretty good, but again, you've got the transom of the door, which I think should disappear, and I think the windows to the right of that should come down to match the height of the door. You've got too much light coming out the back of the house.
I think there's these sliders, there's no breathing room there. I would
Plus,
not.
that's the north side of the house, so you're not doing yourself any favors with energy.
Yeah, but I
That's
mean,
north facing.
I don't see that if you took one of those sliders out on both sides, it wouldn't really change the design of the house much, and it would not be a solid wall of glass.
Yeah, it's a solid wall of glass. And even the second floor is really a solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just, whoa. Because we're looking at, I mean, this is a tight lot. No one would disagree. Look at, on the site plan, there's so little extra room anywhere. There isn't any. There is no extra room anywhere.
Are there any comments from the public? No.
Also,
there
is that
any-
garage, it's a two-car garage?
Yes, it's in
It doesn't
tandem.
look,
It's tandem. It's one behind. You drive 2 cars straight ahead into it.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do they get in it? Is there enough room?
You park one behind the other.
Oh.
okay, okay,
Which just means,
okay.
it just means your site plan, you can't put another car in front of the garage.
Okay, okay.
I got it, because it can only be 2.
Because
Okay.
you
No
can't
problem.
just have them in front of another car.
I'd like to.
So that's a lot. But I think you're sort of hearing unanimously about how everyone feels about the glass, across the back and even across the front, and how people feel about the balcony.
Well, I have done a lot of houses that we do have sliding doors in the back and 2 pairs. And we have one centered on the front
I'm just
door.
gonna tell
That's
you,
one
I'm-
room.
No.
I know you've done a lot of houses unanimously across. You heard the same thing from all 4 board members, and you need votes, and you don't have them tonight because it's too much glass across the back
And the front.
and the front.
It depends where it is.
And you don't have support for the size of the balcony you have on the second floor.
If we,
Maybe all that
you might,
gray,
you might
too.
consider if we cut it right here.
Yeah, and maybe too much gray.
Too much gray?
Gray.
Gray.
May want to rethink the color palette there a little bit too, for a little more differentiation to it. Because I'm hearing people feel like it's just one solid mass of gray.
And that's what's there now.
You want us to, do we have to deal with the demolition first?
This does
No,
not.
the building department did it?
This does not seem to be a demolition request.
Okay.
Well, how's that going?
Well, do you,
Because it's
I have no idea.
Wait a minute.
well, we'll talk to the building department in the meantime.
Right.
'cause
I
it-
think it's probably newer.
What?
Only when it's certain age you need a
I think
demo
that's right. I think it was- I think it was
evaluation.
Yeah,
built
I-
less than
Oh, okay.
Less than 70
So,
years
but
ago.
Yeah.
they're agreeing, someone has to make
I don't think-
there has
I
to
don't
be a
think- I don't think
statement
anyone's
of
gonna give you a
fact.
hard time about it.
Okay,
And you don't need
right.
any help from us because the house is less than 70
Right.
years old.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So you think you can ready to come back on the 27th?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Right?
So at the applicant's request, I'm going to motion to adjourn 127 Pulaski to October 27th. Is there a second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Which brings us to 145 Somerset. Are they maybe by Zoom? Do you have the affidavits? Are they in order?
I have affidavits that were emailed to me. It doesn't appear that the originals are in the file, and we'll need
But
those.
is that because Alex wasn't here?
No, I have a whole file full of originals.
Oh,
They were emailed to me, I did check them, they were in order, but they're not in the file, the originals.
Is someone coming in
Is there
by
someone here?
Zoom? Okay, thank you.
So can we move forward?
Yes, they do need to supply the originals if they haven't already
Okay, when
done
they-
that. It's
when they come on
possible
here, we'll make sure they
they're
know
somewhere
that.
else.
Okay. Hello? Can you hear us?
Hello. Yes, we can. How are you?
We're having a hard time hearing you. Can you turn yourself up a little bit?
Hold on a second. Can you hear a little better?
Oh, yeah, that's much better. Thank you. Start by introducing yourself for the record, please.
Absolutely. My name is Peter Guidetti. I'm the Director of Architectural Design at Purple Cherry Architects, and we are representing the owners at 145 Somerset.
Okay.
In attendance also with me tonight is Carmine Cafero, Managing Principal of Purple Cherry Architects. He's going to be helping me with some of the drawings.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So this is a very small
Are you
alteration
going to share your screen and put drawings up?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the time tonight. Okay, so we'll start with this page. This is photographs of the existing conditions. It's a really adorable little house with a two-story mass and a pretty tall right side mass, which is primarily where we're adding at the front and also at the rear. It's for a growing family, so they asked for another garage and then to take away one of the existing garages and sort of make a mudroom that we could have, you know, sort of that daily activity in and out of the house. And then a flex space at the back, which would be a den for the kids to enjoy movies and things like that. So very, very modest alteration that's happening on the right side of the house. You can see here in the top rendering, we're proposing to pull out the mass at the right side with that garage bay and to do a sort of soft gable that really doesn't compete too much with the main mass of the house. And we've also addressed the front entry to sort of give a little bit more character to the entry to take away that existing gable that was there and to kind of tie in the sort of porch-like Chippendale railing that we're using at the back of the house just to try to keep the scale down and also not compete with a lot of the built architecture on the second floor. So you see a few views of what we're proposing to do. Back of the house again, since it's one story in its height and its mass, we wanted to keep it low, so we kept the roof pretty much flat, and again added that sort of decorative railing so that that door that you're seeing right there leads to a sort of little bit of a service hall in a sense that we can get to a full bath to be used as a cabana for the pool, so we didn't have to build another structure on this kind of small lot, but it has a beautiful backyard, so we tried to use the alteration to take care of the pool cabana needs as well as the room on the right that you see with the triple window there as a bit of a flex space or den. And on the far right, in that same image, you'll see a small bump out that we did in the existing family room, just to provide a couple of feet extra in what is a little bit of a narrow room in the house, so we can have a nice glass bay that they can kind of insert a couch so that they can enjoy a little bit more comfort in that particular space. And we can show you the floor plans for that as well. And here's the existing conditions on the left and the proposed conditions on the right. And pretty much our addition is really just relegated to the first floor as we're adding the first kind of garage bay, and then we're adding that den and sort of bathroom and kind of infilling one of the existing garage bays with our mudroom and laundry room, just to make the house a little bit more practical.
So the garage is forward of the house?
Yes, we pulled a new garage bay forward coming up to the front yard setback, just so that we could use part of the other existing garage as our mudroom. Still side loaded, there's plenty of room to kind of pull in on this side. We thought that the kind of protruding gable as a sort of swept and low scale element would really set the sort of main mass of the house. That's a 2-story mass, and a nice way to kind of bring the scale down as your eye kind of travels to the right. So that was our intention.
That's right.
Okay. Board members, comments? Am I reading this correctly? That's a huge, massive second floor balcony.
It's not a balcony. It is just a decorative railing. Really, I mean, we could make a door to get out there, but right now we just have it as a decorative railing.
So there's no door access to that.
Correct.
Okay.
And the standing seam metal roof is just in the front there?
So yeah, so we're using that there just because of the slope. So we were a little worried that the shingles would be maybe not perform too well in that particular area.
Yeah, you're probably less than 8 on that.
Right.
So, but does that, it's only in the front of the main, or does it go over the pushed out garage department here?
No, that's regular wood on the pushed out garage.
So the standing seam is just.
Is that little peplum roof to the right of the front door?
Correct.
So it's just right there.
Yeah, no, I see that, but I was wondering if it took off for parts north and then south again.
Yeah.
I just feel like
I
that's
think-
sort of weird.
A little fancy.
I think the whole what you have right now is a very straightforward house, colonial looking house. I think the whole entryway is so heavy and not typical to what you'd see out here. I think the columns are too heavy. The extension, there's so many of them, the extension to the second floor, and then the decorative railing, it's too much. I think that needs to be simplified. The window that's over the garage, the second story window of the garage, we've got the 4 panes with the diamond in the center. I think is a step too far and not typical to what you would see in Southampton. I don't know that it's harmonious with the other architecture we see in that neighborhood. On the back, in my opinion, is there another option besides skylights? Because you've got this beautiful house and the skylights make it look like a renovation. Is there another way to bring light in there that's not skylights that might be a little more harmonious to the architecture is a question that I have.
Yeah.
And
that was something that the clients asked for in that sort of it's sort of like a cathedral ceiling space.
Or could it be a shed door with a cholesterol light cross or something different than you're actually doing a really nice job, and I just think those skylights kind of like are a hiccup to it. That's my opinion. But I think the front door is just too much and too massive and heavy.
Okay.
I agree with Mark about the front door. And I also agree about the skylights. They just kind of look like they're just dropped there, and they don't even seem big enough to be serving a purpose. I think it'd be much better with a gable.
And the bottom right picture to me on page A902, you've repeated that 4-pane window with the sort of diamond center to the left of the door. I would
Nix that.
nix that.
Okay.
And the fenestration pattern on the triple gang to the right of the door at the bottom at A902. Is there a reason why you're just not doing a gang of double hungs?
We could. We just thought that at the center, maybe give that sort of a little bit more prominence, and it's a little wider. As you can see, it's 4 lights wide as opposed to 3. So we felt like maybe we could just keep that as a picture, but continue the top light pattern through it. So, but we could change that pattern.
Out here, we've sort of seen that before, where you've had like a 4 gang of sliding doors, where the 2 center have just lights across the top, and the 2 fixed panels on either side are mullioned all the way down. But I think just the sort of straight pattern would be a little more harmonious to the house and a more typical of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And I agree, the front is
Yeah, just-
Out of character for the rest of the house, I would say.
Yeah, you're doing a really nice job to the house. That piece is just, doesn't feel appropriate.
And it seems
Okay.
almost small for the grandness of it. Somehow simplified.
Nina, anything?
I sort of have a function and form issue with the fake railing that's not going to be used for a real balcony.
We have a lot of those around here.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm agreeing with Nina, I don't know that it's necessary.
Yeah, maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
What-
Well, you might want to take a swing and see if there's a different trim option that you'd have besides
Yeah.
the balcony railing that's not a balcony railing.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's synthetic.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Jane?
Yeah, I think simplify.
Okay. Any comments from the public? Okay. Our next meeting is the 27th of October. Do you think does that work for you?
Yes, it does.
You can get back to him? Okay. Then I'm going to motion to adjourn. Do you have any other questions about what we said? Anything else, any more clarity we can provide?
No, this was perfect. Thank you for the feedback.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to motion to adjourn the application for 145 Somerset to October 27th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And with that, I'm going to motion to adjourn the September 22nd meeting of the Southampton Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.